Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, students and teachers, parents and honorary guests. I warn you guys in advance that there are a few jokes I attempt to crack throughout my speech. If you find any of these jokes funny, please don't hesitate to show your appreciation with a round of applause or a bit of laughter. Likewise, if you don't find the joke funny, I ask only that you show your disapproval with a round of applause or a bit of laughter. A couple weeks ago, when I learned that I would have the honor of addressing you all today, my immediate reaction was one of ambivalence. I was excited to share a few parting words with those who made my high school experience so memorable. Yet I also felt the anxiety associated with speaking in front of a large audience of such accomplished individuals. What am I going to say? How can I deliver those magical words that will sum up the last 4 years of our high school experience together in a mere few minutes? I had so many questions racing through my mind, and, as if it wasn't bad enough, there were so many dear memories I wanted to include, from grad bash to swag rally to, my favorite of all, prom. So, in order to answer these questions, like any teenager of our time, I turned to what I thought was the most reliable of sources, Google. After perusing through graduation speech after graduation speech, and finding that I was no closer to the answers I was looking for, I visited what I thought was the second most reliable of sources, YouTube. To no avail, and with the advice of a wise teacher and mentor, I realized there is only one place that can capture the essence of my past few years here, and that place is my heart. So, in the spirit of uniqueness, I present to you the following valedictory address. One thing upon which I think we can all agree is that there is no place like IMG. I can honestly say that I don't know of many high schools where student athletes exercise a passion for half a day and pursue an education for the other half. Nor do I know of many high schools where training alongside famous professional athletes becomes so regular that meeting Dwayne Wade or Thierry Henry is no longer the highlight of a student's week. And I certainly don't know of many schools where the male-to-female ratio is 3-to-1. Yeah, it was a tough few years on us guys. But, as a result, my high school experience has become one riddled with memories. Though after today, we will all be moving on to the next step in our journeys, which will most likely take us in our separate directions, the invaluable memories we created together will remain forever embedded within us. To name a few, I know I will never forget the late-night hangouts with my friends that were spent watching movies, solidifying relationships, and devouring food. I will always remember the class photo taken on the lawn of the main entrance. Even the seemingly minor events, such as the talent show we recently held, play a big part in this pile of joyous memories. One memory that stands out to me is a heated debate that took place in my literature class earlier this year. We were discussing the beliefs of English Enlightenment thinker John Locke, who outlines an interesting theory on human nature in his essay concerning human understanding. His theory interprets human nature as inherently selfish. In other words, he attributes selfishness to every human thought, desire, and action, an interpretation that I thought was unnecessarily cynical at first glance. But, upon closer evaluation, I have concluded that not only is Locke's point valid, but it is also a universal law that we should all embrace. Growing up, we probably all heard the words, "Don't be selfish," coming from the lips of our elders more than just a few times. It is a lesson that each generation has attempted to pass on to the next, that selfishness is often the root of evil. But thanks to a lesson I learned from my English teacher, Mr. Bell, last year, I have been able to see selfishness in a different perspective. In this lesson, I learned that just because one given precedes another doesn't mean that the first causes the second. In technical terms, this common misconception is a logical fallacy known as post hoc. In the common lesson we have all been taught by our elders, selfishness and evil epitomize this concept of post hoc. But, in reality, it is only when selfishness is confused with vengeance, jealousy, or spite that evil arises. So, thanks to Mr. Bell's invaluable lesson, I am confident that selfishness is a trait we all do and must exhibit to succeed. Let us take a step back and look at the legends who have passed before us. The best athletes, for example, have been some of the most selfish to play the game. When Kobe Bryant drives down the lane to the basket, or Lionel Messi takes on 4 opponents before burying the ball in the back of the net, they are listening to their selfish desire to demonstrate their creative abilities. Even the greatest thinkers, such as Albert Einstein, advanced the field of science by selfishly indulging in a passion. Their shared characteristic of personal desire that results in an unstoppable drive is one that I not only see in all of the greats, but also in all of us. I see it when we push through that last full field sprint, even though our lungs are gasping for so much air that it hurts to breathe. I see it when our trembling legs conquer the squat press in the weight room. I see it when we stay concentrated during those agonizing final minutes of the SAT. It is not because our coaches or teachers encourage us to become fitter or more studious that we do so. No, it is because we all share the same personal desire to improve. It is the platform for our success and will continue to be going forward. So, whether you become a doctor whose playing field is the hospital, a lawyer whose playing field is the courtroom, or a professor whose playing field is the classroom, I encourage you to selfishly take on any obstacle that presents itself on the path to your goal, and believe in your abilities to overcome them. I know we can all do it. Just look at us. Today we are graduates of the IMG Academy Class of 2013. So, my message to you all is, wherever your futures may take you, stay hungry and selfish while remembering those around you. And in doing so, you will become joyous, prosperous, and selfless. Thank you.